Hello, dear friends. Giving my thanks for another glorious day. Thanks to the spirit of the land, the four directions, welcoming in all the beautiful, benevolent beings that are here to assist me in my earth journey, to share with you from my heart. Thank you for being here and being a part of the sacred space, even though you might be watching this at a different time. Still feeling you being a part of what I'm creating and sharing here. With so much love, gratitude. And for my beautiful tree friend. So I decided what I wanted to do a talk on, and I was in preparation to do that when I was told otherwise. I literally had a drop in of the word crystal come in, and I was like, oh, I guess I'll be talking about crystals, which I'm super excited about because it's just been like such a magical journey for me learning about crystals, and yeah, just how they've impacted my whole awakening process and my journey here on earth so much. So I'm so delighted and excited to share with you. So I'm going to talk about clear quartz crystal. So this is there's all different types of quartz, and specifically I'm talking about this beauty right here, this type of crystal. So first I'm going to go into, as I like to do, a little bit of the science to captivate all of you science-minded people out there. And then I'm going to go into what I call like some of the juicy, and then I'm going to share some of my experiences and some of my practices. So quartz is the second most abundant mineral on the planet. Did you know that? I think the first one is called like feldspar. So there's a lot of it on the earth. It's within the earth crust, and it's everywhere. It's everywhere across the planet. Some areas more than other, but it is abundant. And so quartz crystal is composed of a silica atom and then 2 water atoms, and that sort of makes up like the composition of it. But then what happens is that it ends up being this like continuous framework or like lattice of this continuous continuous, I mean like the silica and the 2 water attach onto another silica and 2 water and another silica and 2 water. And that actually forms a tetrahedron. So it's this never-ending formation of tetrahedrons, like billions and billions of them. And so it ends up being like this 4-sided pyramid. That's what a tetrahedron is. So it's a perfect repeating geometric pattern of molecules. And this is sacred geometry in that the tetrahedron is one of the Platonic solids, and the Platonic solids are the building blocks of the universe. This is what the like 2,500 years ago in the Greek mystery schools, this is what was taught. So sorry, that was a little bit of the juicy. That was not such the science. Okay, so in terms of like, I think with like gemstones, there's a hardness scale called the Mohs hardness scale, and so in terms of the hardness of it, it's a 7. And just to relate to that, like talc, you know what I mean? I think it's like talcum powder, like talc. It's very, very fine. That's like a 1, and a diamond is 10. So 7. It's pretty hard. So it has this crazy property, which is called I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, called the piezoelectric property. So that means that it can transform energy from one form to another. I know, like how is that possible? And so the crystal itself will develop an electric potential or a voltage when an application of like mechanical stress is applied to it. So this is why quartz crystals have been used in all sorts of mechanics. So because they vibrate at this sort of constant, very, very high frequency, but this a constant, precise frequency, they're used as crystal oscillators in, like I said, in mechanics. So watches and clocks and computers and radios and cell phones and GPS and on on and on it goes. I can't even imagine all the different uses that mankind has had for using quartz crystal for these specific piezoelectric properties. Okay, so are you ready for some of the juice? And just, as these things that I'm sharing, requires a little bit of like open-mindedness, just consider. They are conscious living beings. This is a conscious living being. The earth that I'm sitting on is a conscious living being. Now, it's a different consciousness to what I have, for sure. I can't even imagine what their consciousness is, but they are conscious. And I read this and oh my gosh, it just made my heart just like swell. They're thought to be the first kingdom to exist on Earth, anchoring light here through their structure so that all the other kingdoms could follow. Of course they did. So they kind of have like these 6 properties, I would say, is that they're able to absorb, store, amplify, focus, transmit, and transform energy. Just frickin' powerhouses. So as humans, we all have our own vibrational signature, right? Or we always have it. We can have different vibrations at different times. So in that, our vibration can be a little bit unstable because it depends on the surroundings that we're in, the people that we're interacting with, our mind upstairs, what's going on in there. All these things and so much more determine what our vibration is. It is ever-changing and easily influenced depending on all these sort of circumstances in our life. But quartz has a fixed vibration. It's a very stable energy, and quartz can profoundly influence the energy that's around us and influence our more like unstable energy just by being in their presence. So remember, everything is energy, absolutely everything, down to the subatomic particles of everything on Earth. Everything is vibrating and oscillating and is energy. And remember that where your thought goes is where energy goes. So your thoughts are energy. Okay, so how do I use quartz crystals? So I just want to share a little bit of my practice with you, which is when I am creating sacred space, and if I'm doing ceremony, like new moon ceremony, and we're actually in this portal right now of new moon in Cancer, and so this is a beautiful time of new moon to be setting intentions for yourself. And so when I'm doing ceremony, if I'm doing any sort of rituals or healing practices, certainly if I'm when I am sitting in meditation, I put my thought and my intentions into the crystal, right? So I just put my intentions of my thought, which is absorbed and amplified into the crystal. Now, there's some setup that happens before that, just to say that I don't just sort of like grab my crystal and start working on it. First, I just hold her in my hands and put her against my heart and honor the beautiful conscious being that she is. And I just give so much gratitude and thanks that she's in my life. And I just have so much respect for this ancient. You know, they're formed over like millions and billions of years old. Like, I don't know how old this beauty is, but she's an oldie, you know? So yeah, I really just honor the fact that I'm able to share my life with this beautiful conscious being and have this sort of this co-creating myself and expanding my consciousness through, you know, through her assistance, because I really feel that they're these sort of messengers that come into our life. So when I'm sitting in ceremony and creating sacred space, and like I said, I'm setting in my intentions, like I was doing before I'm starting these videos. I create this space. I've got also, I brought a bunch of my crystal friends to show you. I just love them so much. This one's got like a little cluster on them, and this one's all got sorts of rainbows in it. And then, oh, this is a rose quartz. This guy's kind of always with me. So yeah, so they absorb your energy through your thought, and then through your intention, and then they're going to amplify that energy. That is what is so amazing. And as I was sitting preparing to do this talk, I said I was sitting with my crystal and I was creating the space. I actually believe that it gave me a message to tell you, or to remind me to say, which is, you know, I've been teaching or learning and teaching a lot about heart coherence, and I realize that when you go into this coherent state where you're in this resonant energy with your heart and your brain and all your bodily systems, and you're at the same resonant frequency as the earth. Well, if you're doing that while you have some crystals in your area or holding on to or just surrounding you, you are just amplifying that energy and transmitting that energy. And so yeah, just another beautiful way to be working with our crystal friends. Because they're super high vibration, very, very high frequency stones. And they're called the stone of power because it does this amplification of the energy, like I said, which can be all through just the power of your intentions, and your power of your intentions, which is thought, which is energy. So I just wanted to share, how did crystals come into my life? Well, the first real experience I had of crystals, which was at my workplace. So in case you don't know, I'm an ICU nurse for companion animals, and I work in a large referral hospital. And I was taking care of nursing actually it was an old, I can't remember how old it was, an old white wolf. Actually, it was a wolf that was owned by these three sisters, and the wolf's name was Sensei. And I need to share the journey of why he was in, but he actually made it home. He just beautiful that he survived and made it home. And of course, I met these sisters every time they would come in and visit their dear sensei, and I really loved them, these three sisters, and I just loved being around their energy, and certainly I loved their old dog Sensei. So when Sensei went home, they left me a gift, which was a quartz crystal. It was like quite a large cluster, and this is actually a piece of it, because years later I actually dropped it, and this broke off. Which I was mortified with, but now I understand that that's what happens sometimes. Crystals break and change, and that's all part of their journey, just like we break and change, and it's part of our journey. And so at that time, I got this beautiful gift, and at that time, I knew nothing about crystals. I was just like, oh, what a beautiful ornament, you know. And it was in a gorgeous velvet box wrapped in like silk or velour or something. And so I put it away, and that was, I don't know, like probably like 20 years ago. And then many years later, I think, like, I'm trying to remember how long, like maybe like 8 to 10 years ago, I had another client that came into the hospital, and she walked in and asked if she was allowed to do some crystal healing on her dog. And that just, like, I was like, ding, that caught my attention. And I remember watching her work with pendulum and crystal over her dog. And after that, that just opened the doorway for me into the crystal kingdom. I think that then I was ready to work with this type of energy, and all the work I've been doing on myself. I mean, I don't know all the reasons of why then and not before, but I remembered when that with this crystal healing woman, I remembered back that, oh, I've got a crystal in a box somewhere that I was given long ago. So that's when I took it out and it cracked, and that's how I ended up with this beauty, which is like, she's like my compass, my true north. Like, I just I don't know why she just feels so special to me, but she just feels like an old friend now. Just like such a companion that is always there and I can always count on. And I just, for me, different people have different awarenesses with crystals, and for me, I just have like a knowing. I can't explain it any more than that. I just have this knowing, and that's it. I just, they're just feel like such powerful beings in my life that I just have so much gratitude for. So, like I said, I really feel like they'll just come into your life, when you're ready, because otherwise they might come into your life and they might just sit on a shelf somewhere until you're ready to work with this type of energy. And I really feel like the reason why I was told to be talking about crystals is because I think that this time on the earth right now, with all the shifts that are happening, I feel like they're really powerful. I want to almost say that they're like a tool, powerful, just these powerful beings to help us somehow with the shift of the collective consciousness that's happening, to help us with your awakening, with your expansion, with your opening, with your blossoming. And I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful to have them in my life. And I hope this helps you a little bit with considering, maybe you have a crystal, or maybe you've just been thinking about one, and, what are they? And maybe you just have a little bit of curiosity, and that's how it starts. So it was just like a little bit of a spark of curiosity. So thank you for being here. So grateful for the spirit of the land where I can sit and share from my heart as I'm going through my journey, and just so blessed to be able to feel the love, share the love, send you my love. Bye.